So guys, welcome to the next video where I will now show you how to draw your daily and your 4-hour support and resistance levels. So now that your weekly and your monthly is done, what I need you to do is basically, zoom your charts nice and big, and you want to look at least on the daily. You don't want to go too far back. 6 months or so for a level is good enough. Now, as you can see, there's a monthly, there's a weekly, there's a monthly, there's a weekly. You don't want to jam pack a whole lot of support and resistance levels in between your monthly and weekly. You still want your charts to look sexy, you want it to look presentable, but if you do find a support or resistance zone, then one blue line in between each weekly and monthly is fine. But if you find yourself placing 6 or 7, just know that you are doing it incorrectly. So what we need to do is, when we're looking at a chart like this, we're going to click on this button over here, candles, and then we're going to go to the line chart. Now, when you're on the line chart and you're holding your crosshairs, again, holding the crosshairs and looking at the valleys and the peaks, okay, you're going to want your chart to basically line up with what was a support and resistance level. So if I do just there, then we get the this is where you'll use your horizontal ray tool, and I'll place it like that. And I'll show you now why. Let me use the ellipse tool and show you exactly why I placed it there. So over here, that little peak over there, and then over here, and then again over here. So what do we have here? Now, a daily and a 4-hour. Now, you don't even need to step down to the 4-hour if you find a good support or resistance level like this on the daily. So what you're looking for is basically an area that was tested as resistance and support, right? So here you can see this area was tested as resistance, and then again as support, and then over here as support, and then over here again as resistance. And currently it looks like it's testing as resistance again. Now, there's 3 ways you can apply your horizontal ray tool, and it will be the following. You're either going to have the support and resistance, the valleys and the peaks, they'll either be touching or it will be overlapping, or you will actually have some gap in between them, right? So right now you can see this one and that one, this is gap, because between there and there it's not touching, it's not overlapping. Again, there and there you can see. So this one, this area that we're looking at is overlapping. Okay, now let's switch to the candle and see how it looks at the candles. Wow, how nice that looks. You can see there, boom boom, respected, resistance, support, support, resistance. So let's flick it back to the line chart. Let me go back in time and look for an example of overlapping, because we've got an example of gap. Let's look for an example of touching. Not there. So you don't always find it, but we step to the 4-hour quickly. So the 4 hours a bit all over the place, look like squiggly lines. On the daily, look how nice and clean it looks. Clean, clean, clean. See, like, this is gap, gap. Let me show you an example maybe, guys, so you can see. So touching, Don't know why I just don't use my toolbar. So let me show you an example of touching. Let's do it up here. So touching is when you find this happen on both ends, eh? Need you guys to remember that. So the market comes down and it touches that level as support, and then also touches it as resistance. Now, this is an example of touching. If I was to show you an example of overlapping, that would be this. Okay, not the best of drawings, but you guys get what I'm trying to do here. There we go. So now the level is been overlapping on both sides. So the support area was overlapped, resistance overlap. And then as you can see over here with this live example, this is what you call a gap. So guys, this is how you draw your support and resistance for your daily, which will also be valid on your 4 hour, because if you flick it to 4 hour and change it to candle, you will notice that this level, major respect on this level, even on the 4 hour. There we go. So on to the next video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. So now we've covered monthly key levels, weekly key levels, and your daily and 4 hour. And we'll move on to the next one.